We are now live. Turn the volumes up, turn the lights up, turn everything else down. We are live. Now work on your game university as everybody comes in. Tell me your name and location. I guess I'll wait to say that because nobody's coming in yet. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get in here. Then I'm going to start telling y'all what we're going to do here. Tell me your name and location as y'all come into the live stream. The topic here today, I didn't even copy the topic. The topic is, I didn't even copy it. As y'all come in, I'm pinning a comment with the topic of today's stream. As y'all come in, tell me your name and location. I'm going to shout everybody out who's coming in. Tell me your name and location. And then we're going to get into the material. Then I'm going to take questions. And then you're going to leave here in better shape than you came here. That's what I guarantee. All right, that's my guarantee to everybody here. You will leave here in better shape than when you arrived. That's my guarantee to everyone. As y'all come in on live stream, same thing. Akun checking in from Calgary over on Facebook. What's good? As y'all come in on IG, tell me your name and location. I'm going to shout everybody out in 1 minute. I'm just pinning my comment right now so everybody knows what the hell we talking about here, so you know what you're getting into as you come in. All right, there's the pinned comment. Let me make sure I got that pin. There it is. All right, only 3 ways anyone makes money. That's the subject here today as y'all come in. Name and location, name and location, name and location, name and location. This is Dre checking in from Work on Your Game University. Original town, Philadelphia, PA. Hometown, Miami, Florida now. Caden the Asian is the first comment on IG. Congratulations to you. Akun's first comment on Facebook. Congrats. Nick from North Carolina. What's going on? Brian from Minnesota. Caden from New Jersey. Oh, Lionel, you remember that song, that Dre Baldwin song? That's way back. You got to have been around for a while to remember that song. Introspective Ideas, London, UK. Walt from St. Petersburg, Florida. What's going on? Lionel from Belgium. As y'all come in, tell me your names and locations. What up, ARB? Kaden, you said your name like 3 times. I got you. So now as y'all come in, we're going to get started in 30 seconds exactly. I'm going to introduce myself, then I'm going to introduce the subject matter, and then we're going to get into everything we're getting into. Nicole checking in from KOP, King of Prussia. Shout out to King of Prussia. I used to work out there at King of Prussia Mall. Shout out to everybody in Philly, Jersey, New York, Maryland, South Florida, California, and everywhere else. We're going to get started in 10 seconds. Let me introduce myself now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Let me grab my materials here. Got to get my materials. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Former 9-year professional basketball player, played through 8 different countries, traveling overseas playing basketball. What I do now is I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the author of 25 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I'm a coach, consultant, speaker, Uber publisher of content. I published over 7,000 YouTube videos. I've probably done about 3,000 of these live streams, 7,000 blog posts. I already told you about the books, and a whole lot of 1,400 podcast episodes, and a whole lot of other stuff that I'm not even going to list it all here because we ain't got the time for all that. But what I do is teach this framework called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the pro athlete mindset that you need to succeed in sports and teaching how you can apply that mindset in your business and in your life and in your interpersonal relationships. I wrote this book right here called Work on Your Game that teaches that whole framework. So if anybody wants to learn that framework, you get it out of this book right here at workonyourgamebook.com. We'll talk about this later. What the topic is here today is the only 3 ways that anybody makes money in life. Now, this is an important topic right now because right now a lot of people's money has gotten stopped. Maybe your money's gotten paused. Maybe your money has just gone down because of the situation that we got with the corona and all that, especially in the United States, at least right now. A lot of things have been shut down. People can't work. People can't do their normal business and operate in their normal way, which means everyone's looking at ways, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people are looking at alternative ways of making money. And maybe even if your money didn't get stopped, you might be looking at opportunities like, where's my opportunity to make some money right now because of the needs that people have? There are a lot of people with needs right now. How can I fulfill them and make some money for myself? And even when this is over and we're back to quote-unquote normal, whatever the new normal is going to be, understand that in your life, there are levels. Like the song says, there's levels to this shit, right? There are levels to how you make money in life. And there's a level that everybody starts at. There's a level you get to in the middle. And then there's the highest possible level. I'm going to tell you about all 3 of those levels here today. And there's a 4th point that I'm going to give you that helps you put all of this stuff together. So that's the topic here today. The only 3 ways Anybody makes money. So if y'all are interested in that subject, please tap the screen. Let me get some hearts going, or whatever it is that comes up on the side of the screen. It should come up like right over there on the side of the screen. Y'all tap the screen. Let me know that this is a subject that y'all are ready for me to get into. Then we're going to get into this stuff. Then I'm going to tell y'all some other things that we got going on. Then I'm going to tell you some other things that you can do, some calls to action from this point forward, what we can do so you can start getting the money that you want to get the way that you want to get it. All right, let's get into the subject. Point number one. Actually, before I even get into point number one, people sometimes ask, if I get this kind of job, if I go become a basketball player, if I become an attorney, if I become a blogger, if I become an influencer, if I become a YouTuber, how much money can I make? How much money do you make playing ball? How much money do you make Instagram? How much money do you make YouTube? And how much money do you make in this place and this place? The thing is, in most jobs in life, there are a few that are not like this, but most jobs, most industries, most careers, there is no pay scale. There's no pay scale for being a YouTuber. There's no pay scale for being an overseas soccer player. There's no pay scale for being an author. There's no pay scale for being an entrepreneur owning a business. And when I say there's no pay scale, what that means is there is no maximum salary. You can make as much money as you're capable of earning is yours. There's no limit on how much you can make. There's also no floor on how much you can make, which means if you do no work and you're not bringing anything valuable to the table and you can't create a sale, then you'll make zero. So there's no minimum that guarantees you're going to make a certain amount, and there's no maximum that stops you from making over a certain amount. You make whatever it is you can create. Whatever amount of value you can create, and you can convert that value into a sale, into a transaction, you get something, your consumer gets something, then you can get paid off it. That's just the way that it works in life. So when people sometimes ask, well, how much money can I make in this thing? Most of our work in life is this way, that it's wide open. Whatever you're able to create, you get. Now, let me go into the points. Number one, here's the first level. This is the bottom level, entry for level that everybody starts out at when you're trying to make money, is you make what you accept. The first level is what you accept. When I was getting jobs when I was a teenager, I started working when I was like 15 years old. As a teenager in Philadelphia, go around to the mall or to some random, like a restaurant or any kind of shop or business, and ask them, hey, can I have an application? And then you would fill out the application, and this was on paper. This is not on the internet, y'all. This is back then. You actually asked for the application, you get yourself an ink pen, you filled out the application, go back to the place, hand it to the manager or hand it to whoever, and hope that somebody called you back and you got a job interview. That's pretty much how it went. And I did that 50 times trying to get jobs in my teen years. Now, a few times I got jobs, and a lot of times I didn't. Only time I ever interviewed for a job and didn't get it, I interviewed at some kind of music store and they didn't hire me. But everywhere else I ever interviewed, I got hired. But anyway, the point is this. When I got those jobs, when I got my job at McDonald's, when I got my job at Rita's Water Ice, when I worked at the movie theater twice, when I worked at a hat store, when I worked at Pizza Hut, when I worked at Friendly's, when I worked at CVS, and I worked at all of these places, I'm not making that up, they would tell you, all right, they would welcome you to the company, like, hey, welcome to Pizza Hut, welcome to CVS, congratulations on being hired, you are our newest hire. Then they would tell you, hey, here's how much you're going to get paid. I would say, hey, Mr. Boss, how much am I going to get paid here? They say, oh, $5.15 an hour or $6.25 an hour or whatever it is that the minimum wage was at that time. I was not a highly skilled worker. I was easily replaceable. I was fungible. So they could replace me with anybody, so they give you the minimum wage. Because if I quit, somebody else is going to come in the next day and ask for an application. They can hire that individual. So the lowest level, the ground floor level of anything is you just take whatever you accept. And any of us, when we first get started in what we do, we usually have to just accept whatever people are offering to us because we have no negotiating power. Now, you can't tell people that you want more if you don't have any power to negotiate. What do you have? They tell you this is what it is, you accept it, and it's over. All right, this is what happens the most amongst the human population, is that something gets offered to us, and we just accept it, and then we got to go with it. One way that you can start out in this area, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, I want to make clear. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong if you're at your work or at your business and you're just taking what somebody has offered you because maybe you're just doing it to get your foot in the door. You're trying to get known, right? You're trying to get your face seen. Right now I'm doing a live stream. I didn't charge you anything for you to watch me do this live stream or to listen to what I'm about to drop here in this live stream. It's completely free for you. I have accepted the fact that to live stream on something like Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, the accepted price, the agreed upon price for everybody is free. A live stream is free. Now, if I want to do a webinar, I might charge you for it. If I want to do a live event, I might charge you for that ticket. If I want to do a virtual event, I might charge you for that. But if I'm going to do a live stream, I've accepted that this is what the price is going to be, is pretty much going to be free. Now, I can make this part of a paid offering somewhere else if I wanted to, but we're going to get to that in a minute. But understand that every one of us, at some point, when we first get started, we're going to accept whatever is offered to us, because this is a great way to get your foot in the door. So again, I want to be clear for everybody listening that don't look at this as you're doing something wrong if you're just taking what somebody offers you. You're just accepting what someone offers you, because this is a great way to get yourself in the room. There's a lot of people ask me, well, Dre, how can I get my foot in the door? How can I get started in this thing? How can I get somebody to know who I am? How can I get someone to take a chance on me? This is how you do it. You just accept whatever offer they give you, get your foot in the door, and be so thorough, be so good, be so much on your hustle when you get in the room that you make yourself so valuable that at some point they're like, yo, we want to keep you around. We're going to pay you for it. You're trying to get a job somewhere. I can't remember who it was that told this story, but there was this guy, he wanted to work at some clothing store. He really loved this clothing store, but they wouldn't give him a job. He kept asking for a job. Nobody would hire him. He asked, are they hiring? They said no. So one day he went in there. This is a store, like a clothing store in the mall, right? He went in there and he started folding shirts. He didn't have a job there. He just started folding shirts. And the people saw him, and they was like, hey, sir, what are you doing? He was like, I just thought y'all needed some help folding shirts. So he folded shirts for like an hour, then he left. Next day he came back, did the same thing again. He's folding shirts for an hour, and everybody's looking at him crazy. And they asked him, hey, can we help you with anything? He said, no, I just thought you guys needed some help. And he did it for an hour, he left. Then he came back the next day, and the manager came up to him and said, hey, do you want a job? And the guy said, yes, I definitely want a job. And they gave him a job, but it was an entry-level job. He didn't have any negotiating power. I mean, all he was doing was folding shirts. Anybody can learn how to fold a shirt. But he got his foot in the door. With his foot in the door, he proved that he was good, and then eventually they said, hey, we're going to promote you to being a key holder or being a shift manager. And then became a regular manager. Maybe eventually managing the whole store. Who knows? Maybe eventually he owned the company. Who knows? But the whole point is, sometimes you got to do what you got to do just to get your foot in the door. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do just to get your foot in the door. And these days I see a lot of people have a bad case of too much pride. They don't want to put their head down and humble themselves and just do the work to get your foot in the door because you think you're just too good. When I was starting to play ball overseas, I would have taken any opportunity that was given to me when I was first trying to get on. My first year trying to get on, I would take any opportunity. But because, luckily, I got connected with an agent, that agent had a little bit of power, he was able to get me more than the bare minimum. But if someone had said to me, Dre, we'll give you the bare minimum just to give you an opportunity to get your foot in the door to show that you can play at this level, I would have took that opportunity. Why? Because I was trying to get my foot in the door, and I knew how much competition I was having to go against just to get seen amongst all these ball players who were trying to get on. So any of you right now who's just trying to get your foot in the door on what you're doing, understand that you don't need to be trying to ask for anything. All you got to do is say, give me an opportunity. Just let me get in the room, and I'm going to be so much on my hustle doing my thing that you're going to want to keep me around. I did a Virtual Mentors episode on Puff Daddy on Work on Your Game audio masterclass. Some of y'all call a podcast. And some of y'all don't know Puff's story. When he was getting on, he was working as an intern. He was an unpaid intern when he was in college. He was going to school in D.C. at Howard, and he was interning in New York. Now, any of you who lives in New York or D.C. has traveled that back and forth, he didn't have a car. He was taking the train back and forth from D.C. to New York a couple times a week just so he could go work as an unpaid intern trying to get on in the music industry. But he was so thorough at his job, he was so good, he was so much on his hustle that eventually he became a paid employee. Then eventually he moved up. Then he moved up again. Then he got fired. But by the time he got fired, he had built up so much equity in his name that he was able to start his own company. Then he then he went and signed all these acts, and the rest became history. But this is how you get your foot in the door. If you got the hustle and you got the game, you shouldn't have a problem just doing something to get your foot in the door, just accepting whatever's offered to you, because you know in your mind that when I get in that room, I'm going to be so good that they ain't going to have no choice but to keep me around. Then they ain't going to have no choice but to pay me, because I'm going to be so good that they got to pay me. And if they don't pay me, somebody else is going to pay me. That's the first level, is being willing to accept, or just accepting, whether you're willing to or you're forced to, accepting what someone offers you. That's the first way you make money. Somebody makes you an offer, you accept it, and then you just go do the work. Here's the second level. And today we're talking for people who came in the middle of this, the only three ways anybody makes money. The second level of making money is when you negotiate. Negotiation is the second level. It's not the first level, it's the second level. You see, when I got my job at Pizza Hut, I didn't negotiate my salary. The boss said, yo, you make $5.15 an hour. I had no power to negotiate. I couldn't say, yo, no, I don't want $5.15. You got to give me $10. The boss would have said, yo, kid, I could let you walk out of here right now, and in 20 minutes, somebody else your age with the same amount of skills you got for Pizza Hut is going to walk in here and ask for a job, and they'll gladly take $5.15 an hour. I don't need to pay you $10 an hour. In other words, the point is this: I had no negotiating power. So in order for you to negotiate for the money that you want to make, you got to have a little bit of leverage. All right. In order to negotiate, you must have leverage. That a negotiation is a back and forth, a give and take, and then eventually an agreement is made. All right. I say I want $10 an hour. They say no, we'll give you $5.15. Then I say, all right, well, how about $8? They say no, how about $6.25? Then I say, all right, how about $7? They say, oh, we'll give you $6.75. And then we agree on that. Then we got a handshake agreement. We sign on it, and then everybody moves on and works. Let me tell you a key thing about negotiation. I already told you one key thing is that you got to have leverage. If you have no leverage, you have no walk away. If you're not willing to walk away from a negotiation, you don't have the power to negotiate. Everybody heard me when I said that? If you're not willing to walk away from an opportunity, you don't have the power to negotiate. So when a basketball player who's trying to get on playing overseas and some team offers you a deal and you say that's not enough money, are you willing to walk away from that deal and go back to your full-time 9-to-5 in the USA because you're not willing to take that job? If the answer is no, you don't have the power to negotiate. You can only negotiate with someone when you are willing to walk away from that opportunity. Now, here's the other thing about negotiation. If the other side that you're trying to negotiate with is not willing to negotiate with you, let me tell you a secret. All right, they're just not that into you. All right, they don't really care about you. They don't really need you. They don't really want you that badly because they're not willing to negotiate. When the other side is when the other side really wants you, they will negotiate with you. In other words, if you're trying to get a job at CVS, and you say to CVS, yo, I want $20 an hour, and CVS says, well, look, we want you, but that's a little bit high. How about $17 an hour? They're willing to negotiate. That means they're interested in you personally. They're interested in having you as part of their organization. But if they say, yo, we're not giving you 20, we offer $12 an hour, take it or leave it, you know what they're saying to you? That we don't really value you that highly. All right, we don't really need you. We need somebody, but we don't need you personally. That's what they're telling you when they're not willing to negotiate. All right, anytime somebody gives you a my way or the highway conversation, and they're talking to you in that way, and that's the energy that they're giving you, it's because they don't really need you personally that much. They might need somebody, but it doesn't have to be you. Now, let me give you a caveat to that. Just because a person's not willing to negotiate with you does not necessarily mean that you should walk away from that opportunity. Because like I said, when I was trying to get started playing ball overseas, if a team had said to me, yo, we'll give you this much, and I said, yo, that's not enough, and they said, well, look, take it or leave it, that doesn't mean I would have walked away. I might have said, all right, I'll take it. Because at the same time, even though they weren't willing to negotiate with me, I can understand why. I hadn't proven myself. I had no proven value in the marketplace. Therefore, I would have took that job, go over there, played my ass off, and performed. So they would have been like, and everybody in the overseas world would have seen me, would have been like, damn, dude can play. So now, once I proved that I can play, now I have negotiating power. Now I got 10 different teams that I can choose amongst, and I can make them negotiate against each other, and then I can figure, or bid against each other, and then I can pick the offer that I want. So just because they're not willing to negotiate because they don't really care that much about you does not necessarily mean you should walk away. It might just mean you have not proven yourself enough to have the power to negotiate. Okay, so negotiation, again, requires some leverage. Jack McDonald was good on Facebook. Negotiation requires some leverage, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have leverage, actually, if you don't know that you have leverage, you don't have leverage. That's a better way of putting it, okay? And everybody here knows what leverage means. Leverage means you got a little bit of say-so in a conversation, all right, for lack of a better description. That's what it means. If you don't know what your leverage is, you don't have any leverage. Negotiators must have something, and leverage is your willingness, your ability to walk away based on fill in the blank. So if I was trying to get a job at Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut said, yo, we're not paying you more than $5.15 an hour, but I knew that CVS was offering me a job for $8 an hour, now I have leverage. Why? Because I could look at Pizza Hut and say, yo, I got another offer at CVS for $8 an hour. Now, if y'all not going to come up past $5.15, I'm going to take that job at CVS. That is my leverage because I have the willingness to walk away from the Pizza Hut opportunity to take the CVS opportunity. However, if I didn't have the CVS offer, all I had was the Pizza Hut offer, now I got two choices. I can either take the Pizza Hut for $5.15 or I can have no job at all. Now, if I'm willing to have no job, now I have leverage. But if I'm not willing to be jobless, and be in that unemployment line, then I might have to take that Pizza Hut gig. I have no negotiating power. But this is all based on what I know. Pizza Hut might not know this. And I could be lying about the CVS job. But this is all part of negotiation. This is a deeper conversation on negotiation that we will have on a different day. I have done master classes on the topic of negotiation, but that's not what today's topic is about. But again, the main point about negotiation, they're not willing to negotiate with you. That means they're not interested. They're not that interested in you. But there is a higher level, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you the first two levels. First level is you accept what you're offered. Second level is you negotiate. There's a give and take. They give something, you give something. Y'all come to an agreement, maybe somewhere in the middle, whatever it is. You go ahead and move on it. There's a book called Never Split the Difference by a guy named Chris Voss, V-O-S-S. V is in Valentine's Day. Voss, called Never Split the Difference. It's a great book on negotiation. So if you haven't read that book, go to your Amazon or Audible, or wherever you read books, and get that book ASAP. You ain't got nothing else to do anyway because you're quarantined in the house. So there is a higher level to this. This is the third level, the next level that I'm about to get to. This is the level that I encourage everyone to get yourself to. Now, you can't just get yourself to this. Well, in some levels, you can get yourself to it just by thinking about it and deciding it, but you also got to have some collateral behind it. And when I explain to you what this is and why it is, you'll completely understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. This third level is the ultimate level. This is the level you want to be at in everything that you do. This is the level that everyone probably has some areas of their life, at least a couple areas of their life that they're not at yet, even if they're there in some other areas. This level, this third level, is what you demand. The third way of making money in life is what you can demand from whomever is paying you. And there are a lot of different ways that this works. I'll give you a real basic way. Any of you has been on a website like Amazon.com. When you go on Amazon, you look up that book that I just mentioned to you, you're going to see the price. The price is going to say this book costs $22 for the hardback, and we'll ship it Amazon Prime. You'll have it in 2 days. You'll have it by Monday morning. Now, can you negotiate that price? No. Can you call Amazon and say, yo, I see this book is $22, but I want to pay $16. Can you do that? No, Amazon's not even taking your call. Can you go to Amazon and say, well, you know what? I ain't paying $22. I offer you $5, nothing more, nothing less. All right, are you going to get the book? No. Amazon's going to kick you off the website. The only way you can get a book, if Amazon says it costs $22, is for you to come up off that $22. Any of you who sells anything online, I sell products online. If I tell you you can get this book, Work on Your Game, for $25 at workonyourgamebook.com, that's the price. All right, there's no negotiation on that price. You can't send me an email and be like, Dre, I see your book costs $25, but I got $20. Can I pay you $20? No, you cannot pay me $20. I'm not even responding to your email. You can't offer me $10. I'm not responding to your email. You either pay $25 for the book or you go elsewhere. All right, those are the only two options that you have. And that's a form of demand. But the form that I was really thinking about when I came up with this point is when you get to the point that when someone's interested in you, interested in your services and your work and your expertise, whether that's be you as a player, as in sports, as a coach or a consultant, someone wants to hire you as a personal speaker, somebody wants to just have a conversation with you and pick your brain and get some knowledge and information from you on a certain subject, that's when you can start demanding your prices. That's when you can set your price and you got to stick to your price. That's the level of demanding. You name your price and that's it. They either have the money or they don't. Let me give you an example. Let's say that someone had a wedding. Let's say you're about to get married and you and your fiance decided y'all want to have Rihanna sing at your wedding. Yeah, Rihanna, the singer, right? Now you reach out to Rihanna's management and you tell them, hey, we're getting married on this date at this location and we're interested in having Riri come sing at our wedding. What are they going to say back to you? All right, they're going to send you a message back that says, if they reply at all, they're going to say, look, to book Rihanna for your wedding at this date and this location is going to cost this much money. Rihanna will perform for this much time, and you need to do all of these things to accommodate her. You need to fly her in on this. This costs this much for the flight, this much for her food, this is the kind of hotel she needs to stay in, this is what she needs on the stage with her, this is the kind of band she needs playing, this is the temperature that she wants in the room. These are all the things that you got to do if you want Rihanna, and this is the price, and you need to pay it up front, 6 months in advance. It needs to be paid in full. There's no negotiation, there's no deposit and pay me later. You pay the whole thing up front right now, yes or no. If you're interested, we need that money within 72 hours. If not, thanks for your time. Now, what is that? That's them demanding to you, this is what it's going to be. Now, why could somebody like Rihanna, and again, I'm just using her as an example. I don't know if Rihanna even sings at weddings, Why does she have the power to do that? Is because she has built enough equity in her name in that area that if you want her, you know you got to come out of your pocket and you got to pay. If you want Beyonce for your wedding, it'd be the same thing. If you wanted, Usher for your wedding, it'd be the same thing. That's because they have built that equity in their name in that specific area that you would have to pay that. Now, if you wanted Rihanna to be your, you wanted her to be your strength coach to help you lift weights, she might not be able to make that demand because she doesn't have the equity in that area. But somebody who does have the equity, who might not be as famous, but is known in that space, they can make that demand. So this is the way that it works. When you build enough equity in your name with a particular audience, you can start demanding what you want, and they either got to pay you or they don't pay you, but you're willing to walk away if they're not willing to meet your price. And this is the key aspect of being able to demand what you want, is your willingness to walk away. See, if you wanted to book Rihanna for the wedding and she said, it's 30 grand and I'll perform for 2 hours and then I'm leaving, you either pay the 30 grand for the 2 hours. You can't come back and say, well, no, I want 3 hours. She said, no, it's 2 hours and it's 30 grand and that's it. You can't say, well, I got 25 grand as a budget. She still say, no, it's 2 hours and it's 30 grand. You pay it or you don't. That's demanding what the price is. Why? And why is she able to do that with that posture? Is because Rihanna is willing to walk away from your offer. All right, she doesn't need your 30 grand. Or at least she has the posture that she doesn't need it. Maybe she really wants that money. Maybe she really wants to perform at a wedding. Maybe she really wants to go to the Bahamas where your wedding is at. But she's not going to come up off her posture because her business and her brand says, this is what I'm standing on. And that's the thing that I want you to understand about demanding the price that you want in life. You got to be willing to set your price. You got to decide what your price is going to be. Then you got to be willing to set your price. And then you got to be willing to stand on it. And when I say stand on it, that means if somebody comes to you with something that's less than what you want, less than your stated price, and they're not willing to come any higher to where you are. Somebody says, I'll give you $10,000, and you say the price is $15,000, and they're not willing to come up to that $15,000, you must be willing to walk away. And if you are not willing to walk away, then you have not firmly established yourself at level 3. You are still at level 2. Because if somebody says, I'll give you 10 grand, and you say the price is 15, and they say, well, I don't have 15, I only got 10, and you accept 10, what did you just do? You negotiated. That's a negotiation. That's level 2. Rihanna's not negotiating with you if you want her to come sing at your wedding. Beyonce's not negotiating with you on a price to sing at your wedding. If you want Drake to come and perform at your bar mitzvah, your kid's bar mitzvah, you can't negotiate with him on the price. Like, this is the price. You got to pay it. You got to pay it up front. There's no negotiation. Why is he able to do that? Part of it is because of his name. Part of it is because of his fame and his status and all that. But here's the most important one. Because you could do the same thing that Drake or Rihanna or Beyonce does, and you don't even have to be famous. You don't even have to be on Instagram. It's their willingness to walk away. This is the most important aspect of being able to demand what you want in any aspect of life. This is not just about money. This could be in relationships. This could be in respect. This could be in just the accommodations that you have. This could be in the way that other people deal with you, the way other people address you, the way other people do things for you when they're working for you. Anything that you got going on in life. It could be the way a stranger deals with you. If you don't like the way somebody bumped into you and didn't say excuse me, you can have a certain posture of how you're going to deal with that will make people understand, like, yo, what you're doing is unacceptable to me, and I'm not allowing you to walk away with that. So it's really about your posture and your willingness to say, listen, I'm willing to throw away this whole situation if you don't bring your performance up to the standards that I'm at. If you don't bring whatever you're bringing to the table up to the standard that I set, then you got to move on. That's what level 3 is all about. The challenge for a whole lot of people in getting to, and secondly staying at level 3 is, number one, a lot of people don't know what their standards are. A lot of people just out here just doing stuff. You have no idea what your standard is. You have no idea what you actually want. If someone comes to you and tells you, hey, I want you to do this, what is it going to take for you to do it? You don't even know. You got to figure it out. You got to think about it. You don't even have you don't even have set standards for yourself, let alone for what anybody else has to do. Therefore, you are always negotiating because you don't even know where you're at. You don't know what your baseline is, so how can you have a standard for anybody to reach up to if you don't have one yourself? So you got to figure out what your standard is, number one. Number two, a lot of people don't believe in themselves enough to set something like this. How many of you, actually, before I even ask that question, I know a lot of people who work as coaches and consultants and professional speakers. And someone will come to them and make them an offer, or not even make them an offer. They'll come to them with an inquiry, and they'll say something like, hey, I saw your speech at such and such, or I saw your video online, or I've been reading your blog for a long time, and we're having this event at this time and this date, this location, and we're interested in having you come and speak at our event. How much do you charge? And that person who's getting asked how much they charge, they don't even know how much their fee is. They don't have a standard. They don't have a rate. They don't know. So then I've had people come to me and they say, well, somebody asked me this, how much should I charge, Joy? How much should I charge? And I'll give them a number, and they'll get apprehensive about the number. They'll start negotiating with me about the number that I told them to charge because they think the number's too high, or they think the other person's going to say no, or they think, well, I don't know if I'm worth that much money. Here's the thing you got to understand. You set the price if you want to be in position of power. You want to be in a position of power in your business, in your life, in your sport, and just have that posture. You are the one who sets the standard, and you bring everybody else up to your level. You don't ask them what their level is, and then you try to find some common ground with them. You tell them the level, and they got to find you, not the other way around. If you want to be in a position of power. Now, if you want to be the person who accepts whatever people offer you, you can play down at level 1, that's fine. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm not judging you. If you want to go back and forth and negotiate and compromise all the time, you can be at level 2 and negotiate. If you want to be the person who sets the price, you got to be at level 3, and that requires confidence. That requires posture. It requires some mental toughness. Because I guarantee you, when you say, if you want to do like Beyonce or Rihanna or Drake would do and say, yo, this is the price, and you either pay it or you don't, there are going to be times when somebody walks away and says, well, I'm not paying that. And they're going to walk away. And that's going to be the end of the conversation. There will be no negotiation. And you have to be emotionally okay with the fact that you turned down that opportunity because they didn't have what you wanted. Now, how many of you are all right with that? How many of you would turn down some money because whoever was coming to you with the money didn't have enough money? They didn't have enough of a bag. They might have had a bag, but it wasn't enough of a bag. I remember I heard, speaking of Puff Daddy, I mentioned him earlier. He said when MTV came to him, they said we should do Making the Band again. Puff Daddy said, well, the first thing I said to MTV was, yo, do y'all have the bag that I need? If y'all gonna have me on your show, on your network, y'all gotta pay me. Do y'all have it? And he said, MTV said, yes, we have the bag. And then Puff said, okay, now let's talk about the show. But the point is this: if MTV would have said, yo, we ain't got the bag, we want you to do it for free, he would have hung the phone up. All right, they wouldn't even had a conversation. Why? Because he has the posture, which has nothing to do with being famous. It has nothing to do with having followers on the internet. Posture is a choice, is a mindset that you choose to have within yourself, that you bring out into the world, that other people can read off of you. And if they can't read it off of you, then you can tell them what your posture is. Like, yo, this is the price, and if you ain't got that bag, we ain't doing no deal. Again, if you're listening to me right now, do you have that posture for what you do? If you're a trainer, do you have a price? And if someone comes to you and asks you what your price is, do you tell them your price, or do you tell them the price that you think they're going to say yes to? Now, I know a lot of people who do that. They say, well, they ask me what my price is. I don't want to give them a price that's too high because they might say no. And I'm like, well, all right, are you at level 1, level 2, level 3? What level is that person at? Level 3 individual doesn't have those thoughts. They don't even think about that stuff. They don't care about that. Why? Because they got the posture. And why are they willing to walk away from something? You know why a level 3 person is willing to walk away from the things that they don't want? Because they know that because of their game, and because of their ability to perform, and because of their track record, and because of their skill, that eventually, after every opportunity, quote unquote opportunity that they pass up because they didn't have that bag, they know another one's going to come. It's like the bus. You might miss one, but there's another one coming every hour on hour, but you got to be willing to emotionally willing to let that first bus pass so you can catch the next bus. Because the first bus ain't got the right bag, but you know the next bus is going to have it, but you got to be emotionally strong enough to understand that. Excuse me. Emotionally strong enough to believe it, rather. Not even understand it, but to believe it. A lot of people understand everything that I'm saying right now. You understand it logically, but do you understand it emotionally? Are you willing to turn down an opportunity because you don't think that opportunity is up to the standards that you want? And then get the next one. Now, let me give you a couple points. I'm going to give you 4 specific points to follow up these 3 points for y'all to understand about this third level of being able to demand what you want. In order to demand what you want, number 1, you must have proven worth. You must prove that you are worth it. All right, if you're going to tell somebody, yo, this is the price and this is what it is and I ain't negotiating, you better have some collateral. Collateral means a resume. Have a resume that shows that you're actually good so that they know that you know why you're charging what you're charging, and that they know that you know they better take it because they're not going to find anything better. You got to have a resume. That's proven worth. Number two, be a person who's in demand. All right, a person once told me, a businessman once said to me, Dre, in order to make demands, you got to be in demand. All right, people who are in demand can make demands. So if you want to make demands, you got to build up some demand for what you offer. Where's the demand for what you're bringing to the table? How hard is it to replace you? How valuable is what you bring to the table? These are very important aspects. And here's the other thing about demand. You can manufacture demand. All right, you can make yourself appear to be in demand even if you weren't that much in demand 2 weeks ago. You can make yourself look like you're in demand. All right, these days with all the tools we got on the internet and marketing and content and advertising, you can make yourself appear to be in demand even if you weren't that much in demand before. And it's not cheating. It's just the game. This is just learning how to play the game. Do not hate the players, ladies and gentlemen. Hate the game. And number three, relative celebrity can help. Notice I said relative celebrity. All right, so you don't have to be Beyonce or Drake to be a celebrity. You could be a celebrity in the engineering world to other engineers. To the people who hire engineers, you could be a celebrity to them because they're the ones who have to pay you the bag, right? An Instagrammer doesn't care what an engineer is doing, and an engineer doesn't care what an Instagrammer is doing, but each one of you could be famous in your own space but be a nobody to each other. So if you're a relative celebrity in your space, that creates demand in the mind of your consumers or your prospects, and that will make them want to come up, bring their offer up to the level that you want it to be at because they want to be close to you because you're a celebrity in that space. Like if you're a college professor, you might be the most famous physics professor in America. I have no idea who you are. Some of y'all probably never heard of this individual, but if you get a whole bunch of physics professors in a room, that person is like Jordan, right? Because they're famous in that space. So relative celebrity means being known in your niche. You don't have to be known by the whole world. You just got to be known by the people that you want to be known by. Most importantly, the people who have the money that you want. All right. If you're known by the people who can pay you, that matters more than just being known by random people who are never going to pay you nothing. They just watching your Instagram and liking photos and leaving comments. That ain't worth no money. But the people who got that bag, all right, be known by them. All right, that's way more important. And number four, you got to decide what your demands are and you got to stand on them. What are your demands going to be? What's your price going to be? And what price are you unwilling to negotiate on? A lot of people don't know what this is for themselves because, first of all, they never thought about it. Second of all, they don't believe in themselves enough to stand on it. And third of all, they're not emotionally centered enough to deal with the fact that they might have to turn down an opportunity, a quote-unquote opportunity, in order to get a better opportunity. And that's why a lot of people in life end up accepting things rather than demanding things. In life, you get what you accept. What you routinely and regularly accept in life, that is exactly what you get. And at the same time, you get what you demand. What you routinely and steadfastly demand in life, you get. Look at your own life and tell me that I'm wrong. Everything that you have accepted, you have allowed, you have tolerated will persist in your life. If you let it keep happening, it's going to keep happening. And anything that you demand and you say, it absolutely must be this way. There is no negotiation. I'm not doing this any other way. It must be the way that I say. What happens? That's usually what you get. This is the way that it works in life, people. Whatever you accept or demand, you get. So you can be on this end of the spectrum. You can be on that end of the spectrum. Whichever one you choose, that's exactly what you're going to get. And if you're somewhere in the middle, then that's what your life is going to be. Somewhere in the middle. So I'm not here to say that you're wrong or right because of the level that you choose. I'm just explaining to you what the levels are so you understand why you're at the level that you're at. Okay? Now, let me recap these points and I'm going to take questions. There's only three ways anybody makes money in life. Number one is what you accept. Somebody makes you an offer, you say yes, and you just take it. When I got my job at Pizza Hut, they said $5.15 an hour. I said, yes, sir. And they paid me $5.15 an hour because I accepted it. Why? Because I didn't have the power to negotiate. Point number two, the negotiation. This is when someone offers you something or you make an offer, they come back with a counter, you come back with a counter, y'all go back and forth, y'all come to an agreement, a compromise somewhere in the middle, everybody's happy, and you move on. Power of negotiation means you must have leverage, you got to have some collateral, you got to bring something to the table to be able to negotiate. If the other side will not negotiate with you, it's because they're just not that into you, they don't need you, and they will just as easily find somebody to replace you. Number three is demand. This is the highest possible level. This is where you set the price, you tell everybody else what it's going to be, and they either come up to the level that you're at or you leave them behind. But you must be willing to leave them behind. You must be willing to walk away. You must be willing to set your price. You must be willing to hold on that price and make everybody else come up to your level, even when they seem resistant to do so. And you got to be emotionally strong enough, emotionally centered enough to do that, even when it seems like it might not work out. And a lot of people falter on it when it seems like it might not work and they're not quite sure of themselves. they're not able to hold this demand. This is why most people in life never get to level 3. Most people live at level 1. I would say about 70% of people live at level 1. About 27% of people live at level 2, or they vacillate between level 1 and 2, and about 3% of the population is at level 3 at anything that they do in life. At anything. Not just money, anything. Because most people don't believe in themselves in anything at all enough to set a demand and make everybody else rise to their level rather than them lowering themselves to everybody else's level. Now, I'm not telling you that you're right or wrong for being at any of these levels. Again, I'm just explaining it to you. You got to decide if you're right or wrong, and you got to assess yourself and see where you're at. Now, if there are questions, let me take those questions. And before I get to the questions, I'm going to give y'all the commercials. You want to play ball overseas? balloverseas.com, the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This is a free book. Both of these books are free that I'm about to tell you about. balloverseas.com, you get the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Everything you need to know, 237 pages about playing basketball overseas, everything about it. I went from a D3 walk-on to playing 9 years overseas because I'm a hustler and I know the game. I explain the game in this book and I give it to you free. Just cover shipping. Go to balloverseas.com. That's this book right here. Mirror motivation, self-guide, and self-discipline. You want to learn how to light that fire within yourself so you can really believe in yourself, so you can start demanding things of other people, which means you'll start living the life you actually want to live instead of the life that was handed to you. You get this book for free by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Everything that I needed mentally in order to take myself from being that D3 walk-on and hustling and making my pro career happen and translating my basketball career to a business career is all because I found that fire within myself, which allowed me to put myself in position to make demands instead of having to negotiate, instead of having to accept. That's all taught in the framework of this book, Mirror of Motivation. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. This book is free as well. Just cover shipping. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. I'll ship that to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. And I've written 25 books, for those of y'all who don't know. I only showed you 3 of them today. I ain't going to show you all 25. But if you want to know about them, you go to workonmygame.com. You can get all the information. But if you just go to Work on My Game, get any one of those books, you'll get on my email list, and you'll find out about all my books in due time. Don't worry. All right, I'll make sure you know about everything. Now I'm just looking to see what I got going on in my comments section on this Friday evening. I hope everybody had a fantastic week. Hope everybody got some value out of what you heard here today. If you didn't catch the whole thing, catch the replay for 24 hours. I am going to put this on, this will be on YouTube too. Probably won't come on YouTube till later in the month because I got a lot of stuff in front of it that got to come out. Coach Walter Brady said, "You're speaking to me. I appreciate this truth." Oh, you're welcome, sir. I'm glad you're in here watching this. Thank you for the comment. Don said, "How are people supposed to know you have the posture if you're not famous?" I know you explained it, but I don't understand it. They don't know you. Again, famous is an added ingredient. That's extra. It's optional. You don't have to be famous. You have to have the posture. Posture is more important than fame. All right, so I'm not saying you need to be famous. You can have posture. Posture means this is the price, and either you pay it or you walk away. All right, that's posture. That's what it means. And if you want to learn more about that, read this book right here, Mirror Motivation, and read my book on confidence and super you, and read my book, Work on Your Game. Because if you have no game, you have no reason to have posture. All right, the reason you have posture is because you have game. So any of you who don't understand having posture, it might be because your game's not sharp enough yet. But if you keep working on your game, I wrote a whole book about working on your game, then that posture will come with it. And I wrote about it in Work on Your Game as well. Rahman said, "I'm Einstein." I'll take that as a compliment. Rahman said, "You do these live streams every day?" Well, I will post. I will be doing them every day, and I'll post in my story when I'm going to do a live. So, Rahman, if you just look at my story, just watch my story on Instagram. I do a story every day on IG. Follow my story, and I'll post when I'm going to go live. And what else I'm about to say? If y'all not following my story on Instagram, follow my story. Because if y'all like the stuff I talk about in these, I get these to you in 15-second bursts on Instagram every day. And my Instagram story is never boring. So watch my story. I guarantee you, you will be happy that you did. I'm going to give you some value in my story, not just a bunch of bullshit and pictures of what I ate for lunch. I will show you what I ate for lunch. But I'm going to be giving you some value at the same time, every single day, guaranteed. Trainer says, "How do you reach the right crowd that will pay your demand?" Well, you got to decide, figuring out what markets you're going to be in. You got to ask yourself where those people are at. The people who are your prospects or your customers, where are those people? That's a question that you must ask, and it's a question you must answer. So figure out where those people are. Whatever industry you're in, where are the people at that want to pay you? I guarantee you they're somewhere, because you're probably not the first person to do what you're doing. So go find out where everybody else is getting them at, and you need to be there too, and offer your value. Introspective says, will you say putting out a blog is the best way to start your brand, or should I use YouTube and all platforms at the same time? I would say use the platform that you're most comfortable with. So if you like writing, then blog. If you like a video, then YouTube. If you like doing audio but you don't want to be seen, you could do a podcast. If you like doing audio and you want to be seen, you could do a podcast and put it on YouTube and call it a podcast. I guess that's what people are doing these days. So whatever platform you're most comfortable with. Somebody like myself, for example, I'm comfortable with all platforms. So I blog every day. I make videos every day. I do podcasts every day. I even do live streams every day because I'm comfortable with all the platforms. But you don't have to do that. You can just write every day. Somebody like Seth Godin, he writes every day. He writes a new article. He does a podcast, but it only comes out like once or twice a week. But he writes every single day. He's written like 30 books. So you don't have to do all platforms. Just pick the one that you're comfortable with. Lego Visual says, how do you view situations when the need for money overrides posture? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. This is a key inflection point for everybody. So the question was, what if you need money? So let's say you are the consultant. Somebody comes to you, makes you an offer, or they ask you how much your price is. And you say, my price is $20,000 for consulting. And they say, well, our budget is only $5,000. And right now, even though your price is $20,000, right now you're hurting and you need to pay your bills and you need that $5,000. Even though you want to charge 20, you need that 5, right? That's the question that you're asking. What do you do in that situation? Well, this is the test of your posture. So the question, the way that you worded that question, what you just said, you said the need for money overrides posture. Well, then you pretty much answered your own question. If you really need that money, then you're probably going to take that 5 because you need to get paid. You got to get that check. You got to get the bag. And again, I'm not saying that you're wrong for taking the bag. What I'm telling you is when your posture is to the point that I've explained in level 3, you can let that 5 walk because you know that you're going to get that 20 tomorrow or the next day or a week after that. And that's, again, is posture. That's a belief. It's a way of living. It's not something that's factual. It's not something that I can explain to you scientifically, but that's the posture. Again, would Beyonce be mad at $20,000? No, she would. I don't think Beyonce would walk away. If Beyonce saw $20,000 laying on the ground, she would pick it up, right? But if her price is 50 and you offer her 20, she ain't taking that 20. Why? Because I'm using her as an example because she's famous. I say why? Because she's Beyonce, but also because she decided that's my price. And I want you to understand, I'm only using her because everybody knows who she is. But I guarantee you, there's a consultant out there who you have never heard of, who they say their price is 50, you're not offering them 20. They're not taking 20. If they say their price is 50, you're not offering them 45. You're not offering them 47. You're not offering them 49,000. If they say their price is 50,000, it's 50 or walk. That's what it is. And they're not famous. They don't even have an Instagram account. They got like 20 followers on Facebook, and you still got to give them that 50. Why? Because they're known in their space for what they do. See, if somebody's coming to you and asking you what your price is, well, they already know you. They already know who you are. You're already relatively famous to a person. If they're coming to you asking you what your price is, how'd they find you in the first place? How do they know who you are? All right, they heard of you. They looked you up. They Googled you. They read about you on your website. They've been following you online. So they already know who you are. You already have the posture because they're coming to you. The very fact that they're asking you your price is telling you that they want to work with you. You have to decide to have enough posture to convert that prospect into a conversion. So it's really about you having some game. You might need to have some sales skills, some negotiation skills, and you got to have a resume. And here's another thing. You got to be specific enough in your niche that if a prospect walks away from you, they can't get what you offer anywhere else. You see, if I decide I want to hire Beyonce to sing at my wedding, and Beyonce says this is the price and I ain't got Beyonce's bag, then I'm going to be really disappointed because there's no other singer I can hire who could be Beyonce. If I hire somebody else, I can hire somebody else, but it ain't Beyonce. You understand? There's only one place I can get Beyonce, and that's from Beyonce. So I got to pay her price because she's irreplaceable, like the song says. And I didn't even plan that. That's the way that it works. So you got to make yourself specific enough and good enough at what you do that people can't get you anywhere else. That's what allows you to have that posture. So that's a good question, Way to Go Visuals. Charlie Robbins says, what can I do as a teenager to make money? Man, it's 2020. You got an Instagram account. Now, you obviously know how to read and write. You got to ask me a better question than that. Trainer TG says, how long did it take you to believe in your skill set to set the standard. It didn't take me very long, simply because I had a lot of seasoning. I was doing things like this and making videos and blogging and doing that for a long time online for free before I even understood how to even do stuff in the world where you could charge for it, like professional speaking and coaching and consulting. So by the time I got into that world, I already knew I was nice. I already knew I was good. And I'm not saying that to talk shit, but I had 10,000 hours in, as they say. So all I had to do was I did a couple of speaking gigs and I showed that I was good, and I got the feedback that said I was good. I said, oh, fuck this. They got to pay me now. And it was just that simple, just like that, the way that I just explained to you. But I had put that time in. I want you to understand, it's not like I just had some natural talent that everything, all the stars just lined up for me. I had to put that time in. I've been blogging since 2005. I've been making YouTube videos since 2006. So I've been creating content for 15 years online. So it's not like I just walked into it and everything just worked for me. I put that time in. So when they say 10,000 hours, listen, I got 30,000 hours in this. All right, so again, hopefully that answers your question. Coach Walt Brady says, do you advise startups to have a low price and then increase price as demand increases? Well, that's one way you can do it. I mean, if you start at a low price, you can at least get some people in the room and prove that you're good, and use them as you can use them kind of as the beta group, the people who like see that you're good, and they give you some testimonials and some feedback to show that whatever you're offering, your product or your service, is worth the money. So then when you decide to raise your price and people see that price and they're like, well, why is your price that high? You can say, well, look at this feedback. Look at the people I've already helped. Look at the people who already bought my product. Look at the people who we've already dealt with, and look at the positive things they said about us. That's why our price is our price. So when you get some proof that you're actually good, that helps. So that's why I use those famous people as an example, because their fame is their proof. Now, if you're not famous, you can still have proof. If you go to somebody's sales page, go to one of my sales pages. Go to the page for this, for work on your game. Go to the mirrormotivation.com and you scroll up and down that page. What are you going to see? You're going to see, I'm not famous. You know who I am, but I'm not famous. When you go to that page, what are you going to see? You're going to see a whole bunch of feedback from a whole bunch of people who said positive things about this book and positive things about me. And what am I doing? I'm building leverage. I'm letting you know, like, yo, I'm not just some random dude just talking shit. Look at all these people I've already helped. All right, so you can get help too, or you can walk away and miss out on all this. And that's that way I'm building my positioning. And that's why people use like testimonials and stuff like that on their websites, because it gives them credibility. So Coach Walt Brady, that's one way you can do it. You don't have to do it that way, but that is one way to do it. There's no right or wrong to it. D Fear says, can you update the videos on Ultimate Athlete? Some of the demonstration videos are unavailable to watch. Oh yeah, send us an email. Email info@hoophandbook.com. We'll make sure that those are fixed. Whatever is not showing, let us know what's not showing, and we'll make sure that's fixed. That shouldn't be happening. Matthias says, will seller's mindset teach me everything I need to know to sell my knowledge? It will tell you the mindset necessary to sell anything. That's why it's called the seller's mindset. That's what it'll teach you. So get the seller's mindset, read the book. I mean, it's a book. I mean, how much information do you need to get a book? Get the book, read the book, get the knowledge from the book, take the things that work for you from that book and start applying them, and then you'll know what it does for you. I mean, that's pretty much how books work. Bob Moncan says, how do I get nervous? How do I not get nervous when I'm playing against tough competition? Well, first thing you can do is work on your game. Because if you have game, then you won't be worried about competition. You won't even be calling them tough competition. It'll just be competition. If they're tough, then that might mean they might be better than you, or you just need to sharpen your game up. And if you read my book, Work on Your Game, I'll help you with all that. This is the whole framework of putting your game in a position so that you can perform like the top 1%. People in the top 1% don't worry about the competition and make the competition worry about them. So I would suggest you go to workonyourgamebook.com, get this book, so you can eliminate that problem from the beginning. Never Split the Difference is the name of that book. Chris, you got the name of the author right. The book is called Never Split the Difference. You just look his name up, you'll see his book. I think that's the only book he's written. Now, y'all ask a lot of questions about getting a book. Man, books cost like $20. I mean, what do y'all have to lose? Get the book, read it, see what you get out of it, take what's necessary, apply it, and then get another book. Then get another one, and then another. A book is such a low investment for the return on investment that you get from it. Y'all shouldn't have to do too much trivia before getting a book. Just get the book. Any book you see that looks good, get it. Any book that I see, if it even looks like is one thing in that book that I can learn from, I get it. I don't go ask anybody. I don't read the reviews on Amazon. I just get the book. And then I read the book, and then I see what I get out of it. If I get 10 great things out of it, cool. If I get one great thing out of it, cool. But it's a book. It costs $20. I mean, what else you going to invest in that y'all spend $30 a month on apps that don't do shit for you? And why do you got to think about getting a book? I don't understand that. How can I get recruited for basketball if I go to an unknown school? You could become a known player. That's what you do. All right. Anybody ever heard of St. Vincent, St. Mary's before LeBron James was playing there? I didn't. LeBron was a known player. It's not about the school. Basketball players, don't blame your school if you're not getting recruited. It's not the school's fault you're not getting recruited. It's your fault because you're not performing. Jim says, when do we get to see you back in action on the court? Whoever said that I was getting back in action on the court? And you want to see me in action on the court, you better go to youtube.com and type in Dre Baldwin. You can see me in action on the court. 7,000 videos worth of it. Now, I never told anybody I was getting back in action on the court. Is it illegal to spit game at work? Like ask a girl for her number? It's not illegal. But it depends on how you do it. And you don't want to be accused of harassment, so you better be careful. Sharpen your game up. I got a course called Get the Girl that'll help you with that. Go to workonmygame.com/girl. I think we got the waiting list up right now. Workonmygame.com/girl. GIRL. Take that course so you can sharpen your game up. So even if you try to talk to a girl, she's not interested, she won't accuse you of harassment. You don't want to get accused of harassment because then they probably have to fire your ass. Tips on rebounding. You got to ask me a better question. That's not the subject of the stream. How tall was I in 9th grade? I don't know. All right, so Mirror Motivation, Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. Get this at mirrorofmotivation.com. This is a free book. All you got to do is pay shipping, cover shipping. We got this worldwide. We're shipping this to you. We are shipping books right now live. The corona has not stopped us from shipping books. Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Anybody wants to play ball overseas, go to balloverseas.com. Any of you have questions about actual basketball skill, go to hoophandbook.com. Hoophandbook.com. I got a 15-week program there called Ultimate Athlete. It requires no equipment, no gym whatsoever. You can do that program from your living room. You don't need any equipment. 15 weeks to get yourself in perfect basketball condition. It is the perfect program for quarantine, lockdown, shelter in place, whatever they're calling this right now. Ultimate Athlete, go to hoophandbook.com to get that Ultimate Athlete book. And we got another book you can get for free right on the homepage at hoophandbook.com. You go over there, you can see it for yourself. Let me see what else we got. How did I build my mindset? I created this Work on Your Game framework. Get this at workonyourgamebook.com. How do you keep your confidence at 124/7? I built this framework called Work on Your Game. Go to workonyourgamebook.com. Your audiobooks have helped me so much through barber school. Thank you. I continue to invest in your products. That's a great idea. Congratulations on investing in yourself. That's the most important thing you did. So definitely keep at that. I got more audiobooks on the way. I'm working on another book right now that is to a specific niche. Y'all hear about that probably in the next week. I'm just waiting on a couple pieces of materials to be ready. Working on some sites, some sales pages. Everything will be up soon. So y'all stay tuned. All right, they're about to kick me off this live because it's going to go for an hour. This is a wrap, everybody. Have a great Friday night. Don't shake anybody's hands. Keep your hands clean. Don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth. Have a great weekend. I am going live tomorrow, so follow my story. Turn on your notifications. Work on your game. Dre all day.